Hey everybody, Barry here, interrupting your regularly scheduled rig walkthrough. Now, we don't normally do things this way, but this is a special rig, and I wanted to take a moment to share why it's special, or at the very least explain why it's special to me. So this is a rig for Dan Huff, and as many of you know, Dan has had a storied career in bands, as a session player, and as a producer. Now, I first found Dan's music when I was just a kid. And there are two records that for me solidified that electric guitar was the best thing going. And that was Los Lobotomy's Candyman and Giant's Last of the Runaways. So Huff was one of my first guitar heroes. And the way that he used guitar compositionally was really eye-opening. Now, here at XTS, we've had lots of opportunities to work with real deal guitar heroes, some of whom we get to call friends. But my love of electronics and guitar stuff was birthed right around the time that Dan's music found me. So those three things are tied really strongly together. So for decades, whatever musically Dan was a part of, I wanted to partake in. And being able to play a small part in what he's doing now is a real honor. So I wanted to take just a few moments to share the whys. Thank you for indulging my digression. Here's what you came for. So welcome back to the XTS Custom Shop here in Nashville, Tennessee. I'm here with Eric. Say hi, Eric.
Hi, Eric.
And you were playing those delicious Huff-esque licks because...
I was trying to.
I think you succeeded.
I got a couple of them.
Yeah, there were several there. And I think it was a really good effort.
I'll get a participation trophy.
I've got a ribbon for you in the other room.
Hooray.
But all that because of this board here, which is for the legendary...
This guy right here.
Yeah.
That's his handwriting, if you're ever curious what it looks like.
Yep. The legendary Dan with two N's, Huff. And we're fortunate enough to be able to build this board for him.
Yeah.
For years, he has not really needed a board. This is what he has told us. Mm-hmm. And he's got some stuff coming up, and he'd like to have one. And we certainly would like to build him one, which was like sort of the perfect thing. So here we are. It has a bunch of really good stuff on it.
It does. It has all great stuff on it. And it will disappoint the people that like a certain era of Dan Huff.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of that stuff is covered in this.
Clearly, he can make this sound like all the things he needs to make it sound.
But if somebody's expecting rack gear,
it's not as tall as we are.
That.
It doesn't have all the goodies in it. There's not a controller out front to do it. It doesn't take 4 people to carry it around up into a truck and such.
None of the things that you've said makes me want the old
all
one.
Those bad parts about it, yeah.
Yeah. But this has all the tones, and then we've done some things to kind of make sure that it remains flexible long term, because there's no sense in him and a fellow like that who does so much stuff in such a great variety. So, Eric, would you walk us through this Huff board, please?
Let's take a trip.
Yeah.
Well, it's on a pedal train frame. It's a Novo 24.
Novo 24. We put a laminate top on it.
Boom. Little interface here.
Let me move around here.
Take a trip with the camera. In, out, little insert there. DC through. Put whatever you'd like out here.
Yeah, so there's a wah pedal that he likes to use sometimes, and that can now go off to the side and be powered there by that DC through.
Get all
And then
juice it needs.
the insert is there as well. So should you want to add a box for the day, a pedal of the day, trying something out,
Yeah.
or if Dan were producing somebody and they wanted to use this board and the player wanted to play something specific, you can use the insert to put it in the right spot. And we'll go over the spot where the insert is as Eric walks us through the signal flow on this thing. So I interrupted, Eric.
That's all right.
Would you continue?
So come in there, up into an RC, modern classic.
Modern classic. Great shaping thing because you've got a boost and EQ there.
Yeah. If you don't use these for, let's say, a solo boost or I don't know, something else, it's a great fixer. Let's say you're playing Les Pauls and you're playing a Dan Electro. Good luck getting your rig to work in a live situation with both of those things. Hey, just throw this thing on the Dan Electro, give it a little more boost, maybe shape it a little bit. Still sounds like a Dan Electro. That's why you got two different guitars out there.
For sure.
But now you're living kind of in the same territory.
The rig is responding as you had and as you would anticipate.
Exactly, yeah. So they're great for that, and then they're also great for just anything else. They're the best non-distortion generating overdrive pedal out there.
Yeah.
So then down here to a blues driver, and it's a Keeley mod. Boy, I sure don't like the stock one of these. I sure don't care for them. Not my cup of tea. But boy, I sure do like the Keeley modded one.
Yeah.
What do they do? It's
Who knows?
magic. I do know, but
What do they do?
they make it better.
Oh, okay.
And they put some different parts in there. But great. And then, ooh.
Hey,
look
how
at
about that?
this. That's one of ours. We like this one. That's on here.
That's what you were using at the top of the video, right?
That was for the fake I'm a Believer bits that I did.
And the story on that is that we did the Winford, for those who don't know, we did the Winford for Keith Urban based on a big box Rat that he was using at the time with the sort of EQ things that they were using around it at the time in his rig, which was a great big fat mid boost in the gain, and then a very narrow high voiced presence after gain, so you could bring back some clarity and get some straight overdrive sounds. It really, for years, we did not mention in Less Press that the Winford was sort of a Rat based thing, because some folks have a it has a pejorative connotation.
You know, for whatever reason, the term rat carries some baggage.
Yeah.
I don't know if there was a disease back in the day or something carried by them.
I'm no history
I don't know
buff.
if they get in your house and mess up your stuff.
But all that to say that those prototypes were developed. Which record was it? I've forgotten. But Dan and Keith were using that on that record, and they seemed to like it. So this is a new pedal to Dan, but we felt confident in recommending it based on that experience. So, and I think it suits. It's such a versatile pedal. If I only had one of the things that we made, it would probably be that one.
I mean, it'll do, not to do too much of a sales pitch here, but it'll do what you just heard.
So you just, I was away, but you just dialed down the gain.
Yeah, it'll also.
So flexible.
Yeah. Turn that. So it'll do a lot of stuff.
And what those two drives won't do, the Para EQ is going to help you.
Ooh, it'll fix it all.
Fill the
won't
gaps.
Tune my guitar, but it will. I was having fun with this. Ooh, it's so boxy and closed off. Really fun for that kind of thing. But these are super powerful, and the first time we had one in here, I had there was, I think, an ODR in front of it, and because my test amp is under a bench here, there's a corner here, you can get a little bass buildup in here. So I sweeped the gain, found that frequency, and pulled it back just a little bit, and it got rid of the thing that bothered me. And then I came into your office and I said, the funny thing about these is that most people are just gonna just do that. Just a tiny little fix like that.
Yeah.
But they're super powerful.
For sure. And then,
this is all soft. This whole front row is soft here. It's all on Velcro.
You can see it's on Velcro.
Which we don't typically do, but this is gonna
these
probably
guys could
change around a lot.
So like it's got this VB2 on there. Maybe that stays a VB2. Maybe that doesn't. So who knows, what that will be long term. So I assume, is it para EQ into the VB2?
It is the end of the chain here, and then we run out to this insert.
Oh,
here.
the insert. The aforementioned insert.
Then we run out to that insert, come back into a volume pedal here, and then over to this VB2. Nice. So this is kind of modulation spot, whatever you like here. And I think these sound really good. There's some people that run them real gentle like that, which I think is cool. You almost can't tell it's on. Yeah. It just does a little. They're just tasty. Very nice. So out of there, and then we come up here to a Brig, which are just great sounding.
Yeah, which is now a difficult to acquire piece. I mean, relatively discontinued.
Yeah, I haven't tried it against the brand new one.
We need to do that. I had a guy asking me about that on the phone today, so we need to try that. You can comment below if you've tried it and let us know your results. But I think that was a Book recommendation to Dan, and so we found him one of those to put on there. So Brigadier, and then
ooh, M9 classic.
That's a real classic now.
And
Rich Rankin was in here the other day, and he's one of the proud parents of the M9. And he kind of gave us a lot of the background on how that was developed and all that.
Oh.
That was fun.
Where was I when that happened?
I don't know. I think you were I think you were doing Steve shows.
Oh, that could be. When I was in Wyoming? Yeah. Well, that's a story. We had a good time there.
So M9 covers everything that's not on the board.
You know what else it covers?
Tell
Guys,
me.
This is his, and I love that this setting is a tube driver, and this setting is classic distortion.
Nice.
And we may have told the story, but when Giant did that reunion show here at the basement, 7 years ago maybe? My roommate Ryan at the time set it up, so he borrowed my Dirty Shirley head, and Dan used it, and he showed up with that guitar he's got, that old Strat, and an M9, and he plugged it right into the low input on that thing, and that's how he did the whole show. So he used a distortion pedal in the M9 through the Shirley to sound awesome.
Yeah, and it sounded great.
It really did sound good.
Well, cool. So M9 and then
Supermoon.
Yeah.
Which, these are great.
They really are. It's almost like a vocal quality.
Yeah, it's not shimmer, but it's kind of a shimmer.
It's very cool. And then from there, out of the board, yeah?
Yeah, then we're out.
So killer board, obviously Nashville to some degree or the other. Got a Strymon
and a Crux under there.
Yeah, the Crux is there to power the M9. We don't have to worry about some voltage issues when we run that at the right voltage. So killer board, absolutely killer player. We've been, like I told Dan,
Really fun.
I said we've been waiting for this for a long time to be able to build this board for you. So I'm so glad that. Let's see. There's a couple people who made this happen. Book is one, and Chris Donegan is another. Kind of made the contact and made that happen. So thanks to those guys, and of course, thanks to Dan, because it really is a pleasure. So if you need something like this or something completely different, give us a call, and we'll talk to you then. Later.